In this segment of the lesson on the changing future, we continue to explore our objectives for the school year. Remember that the purpose of education is to prepare us for the life that comes after school. Learning the skills that are necessary to adapt in a world filled with change is essential. This is part of why we chose adaptable as one of our charge traits. Take a moment, get out the materials that are listed on screen. You'll need them at home with you as well. And think about the blue questions for a review of last week. Pause the video as you do that. Our 4 skills were learning to learn, people skills, passion and curiosity, and nurturing the right brain. The more you can review things that we've been learning in class regularly, the more likely you are to remember it for the long term. Our talk guidelines match with these pictures on the right: task, attention, listening, and contribute, which is how we are good group mates. The MLA is similar to the PIAA because they both set rules for whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're playing athletics or writing papers. Our objective today is to finish the MLA background and actually work together to format our essay. I'll work you through a quick mini lesson on formal style, and then you'll use your actual organizer to begin writing the draft of your essay. In the process, I'm also going to have students make another attempt on the reading check from Friday to get them to practice what they learned and to try and review the text itself. On Friday, we introduced the idea of MLA style as a guidebook to how we write papers. And there are many different kinds of style books out there. New Oxford uses MLA from grades 7 through 12 in all of our subject areas. The goal is to create rules that we all follow so that things are clear and consistent. It's a lot easier when you know how to write, and it's a lot easier as a reader when you know what to expect in the way that something is set up. And so this will establish the format of a paper, how it looks on the page, as well as how you should be referencing sources, both as in-text citations while you write and in the creation of your work cited at the end. Today, we're focusing on the format of our paper. And on Friday, you got a gold sheet that will help you create a format in the future. For this essay, we're going to work on those items together. When you access your essay, you're going to do that through Schoology. It will create a Google Doc version of your essay for you to use. On my screen, I'm going to pull up a blank template just to make sure that I can guide you through this together. Your first line will be the student name. So we'll pretend that this person is called Steve Rogers. Then you hit the enter button and you put the teacher name. Make sure that you spell my name correctly. Make sure the capital M, Mr., the period, the space. Then you put the class name. Then you put the date, and we're going to start with the day, put then the month, then the year. Notice I'm spelling out the name of the month. Again, I'm following title capitalization here. Then we hit return, and we're going to create a heading. Our heading needs to be centered, so we use the button at the top of the screen where the lines are in the middle. For today, we can just call it the Changing Future or Changing Future Essay. Again, following title case, all of those words get capitalized. We hit return. Now we realign to the left. You don't want to have your whole essay centered, just that first title. And then the first line of any new paragraph we indent by using the tab button on the side of your screen. If you need to rewind and slow down and pause as I go through those pieces, you can, but your essay needs to be formatted like that before you start writing. Also, before you write, I want to review a little bit about formal style. This sounds like a typical 7th grader and the way they might post a text message or something on social media. Pause the video and try and find 10 mistakes in this section of text. The actual essay should look more like what you see on screen. One of the biggest challenges we're going to push for our students this year is we're going to get them to stop using the word you and I in their writing. These personal pronouns are unclear, they're not academic, they're often used as shortcuts so that the student author doesn't have to actually think about what their precise idea is. But we want to be precise. We're also going to avoid contractions and incomplete sentences. We're not going to use questions or exclamation marks. We're going to make statements of fact, clear statements of conclusions. It's going to be scholarly, precise, and clean. The gray box is what we're aiming for. You can do it. It just takes a little more time, takes a little bit more revision, takes a little bit more preparation. One of the main areas that we're really going to emphasize is how this use of you, particularly when your audience is unclear, is not only informal but imprecise. That could mean a lot of different things. By using specific nouns, we make that sentence much more clear. Another area we're going to improve is how we reference texts. Another skill we're going to develop is how to carefully reference sources. In previous years, I expect your teachers have taught you about writing the way this is set up on screen. And while this isn't wrong, it's not the correct way to do it. Think of it as like the training wheels version. Your previous teachers were trying to get you to begin the process, even if it wasn't really the way you reference a source, because it's just too vague. Who is what text are we talking about? Who is it? Is it really speaking? Is it saying that, or are they reporting it? And so we're just going to use more careful phrasing. And the biggest rule we're going to follow is that we're going to use either the author's name or the actual title of the text. We're not going to say the text or the story. We're not going to say it says. We're going to say Friedman reported, or according to Friedman's research in The World is Flat. And notice that it's underlined, this title, because it's a complete book. Smaller article titles go in quotation marks, just like the actual quote does. But a complete work, an independent book, is underlined instead. When you're writing your essay, you're going to use the organizer, which is on the back of your writing prompt. You're going to follow that organizer according to this flow that I have up on the screen. We're going to start with your topic sentence and then essentially turn each of these boxes into a sentence or two. Make sure you're not just typing out what's in the box. So you can't just say like people skills, period, if that's what you wrote in trait number 1. You have to say the first trait described by Friedman was people skills. You need to turn these into statements. And then your evidence is where you would say, according to Friedman in his book, and then either you summarize the idea in your own words, and so you'd have to look back at the reading, or you can actually insert what you think is a really strong quote. You want to keep those quotes relatively brief. I would say you're aiming for about a sentence or two at the most from the quote. Then you explain what the importance of that skill is or how it actually works in your own words. From there, you jump back up to the top of the next organizer column and you introduce your next quote, all in one large paragraph. As you're writing, you're going to really try and use that formal language I went over a moment ago. I would proofread with each sentence because we're trying to be careful in our conventions. Definitely avoid those personal pronouns. Reference the author in the title and use some of that information from the reading. Don't just guess or go by what you kind of remember. Before you start the essay, I'm going to also have you take another attempt at the reading check from Friday. Even if you did really well, I want you to take it again just as a review. It's going to keep your highest score, so you won't be punished if you drop a little bit because it's been a few days. Definitely use the passage while you're working. It's going to help you think about your text and maybe some ideas you can even include in your essay. You might not finish the essay completely today, but you should be able to get at least one column turned into sentences. I'll then give us about 10 minutes to finish up the draft tomorrow. Remember that if it's rough, that's okay. This is our first draft. It's our first writing. You're going to get some feedback from me, and then we will revise these after the long weekend.